The VO Meter, measuring your voiceover progress. The VO Meter is brought to you by VoiceActorWebsites.com, Vocal Booth To Go, PodcastDemos.com, Global Voice Acting Academy, JMC Demos, and IPDTL. And now, your hosts, Paul Stefano and Sean Daly.
Hi, everybody. Our guest today is a versatile voice actress, a passionate podcaster, and an inspiring public speaker. Her eclectic resume includes commercial campaigns for Apple, Toyota, Kaiser Permanente, Hidden Valley Ranch, and Oster Appliances, promos for CNN and NBC, narration for Discovery, E! Entertainment, and video game characters Persephone Brimstone from Agents of Mayhem and Anna from Lara Croft, Rise of the Tomb Raider. We are very blessed to have with us today the witty, the wise, the deep, the daring Kay Bess. How are you, Kay?
I'm well. I'm so much better now that I heard that intro.
A lot of our guests say that.
Thank you.
Only when he does it in one take. Very nice, my friend.
Thank you.
So, Kay, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
We are so thrilled to have you. Our first question is, tell us a little bit about how you came to be a voiceover artist or voice actor.
Well, I started voiceover. I came to Los Angeles and not far, just 100 miles up north. I was raised in the Santa Barbara area, and so I came to Southern California, to Los Angeles, to study acting. So it was really, my road into voiceover really came by way of acting. At the time, that was sort of in the mid-1980s, and voiceover was really thought of as an extension of the on-camera acting world in commercials. So it just felt like it was a nice little extension where a person like me, who's rather introverted, I could participate in the world of commercial acting without being on camera. So that's really how it started, and I took a workshop, which was very rare back in those days. And from that workshop, I was directed to a class, and that happened to be taught by Tom Pinto. And I took that class, and he thought I had an affinity for it and suggested that I make a demo, which I did under his guidance. And I submitted that demo to just three. Isn't that funny? I mean, there were many more, but I just picked the top three.
Agencies, you mean?
Really know what I was doing. Yeah, the top three agencies. And I got a call from the William Morris Agency, from Nina Niesenholtz, who was the head of the department at the time. And they were interested in representing me. So that's how quickly it happened. And from there, a month later, I got my first job, and I really just kind of rolled from there. And a lot of ups and downs, mind you, but that's really where it started. That's how it started. I came to Los Angeles to study acting. I had a little bit of acting training under my belt, and thought it was a nice, comfortable place for me to be in the extension of the on-camera commercial world. So.
That's fantastic. I love Tom Pinto. I've been working with him for the last several months, and just got an email from him this morning with scripts to work on for next week. So love that guy.
He's great. He's great, and he's one of the good guys. He really is. He's just a great guy.
But there are so many of those in VO, yourself included. I mean, we're blessed to have you today, but there was a lot more of us that were blessed to have you as the keynote speaker at this year's VO Atlanta conference. So Can you talk a little bit about how you came to be this year's keynote speaker?
Well, you'd probably have to get inside the mind of Gerald Griffith to figure that out. But
would I want to is the question.
Well, last year, in 2018... Mary Lynn Wisner asked me to participate in the promo section of the conference to teach an X session. And I was thrilled to be able to do that. And I also did a breakout. I was asked to do a breakout session. And the breakout session I did in 2018 was titled A Woman's Place is in the Booth. And it kind of resonated, I think, with a lot of women. And so it was a full breakout session, and my X session sold well. I felt it's funny, I felt a little out of place doing a Promo X session, even though I have done promo for 30 years, it's so different for women. We're generally not the voice of networks, a la Townsend Coleman and Steve Mackle and
Tom.
Reno, Tom Pinto, Reno Romano, voices that are just attached to the branding of a network. That generally, I can't even name a female for whom that is true. I know Anna Vicino did work for ABC for the Thursday night lineup, which was a really big deal, but that's not even the voice of the network. That's just a voice of one night of a network,
Right.
So I felt a little funny, coming in as an expert in promo, even though I do have quite a bit of experience. It's just a different position that women have in the realm of promo. Anyway, I kind of just got over that, and I realized, you do have experience, and you do have something to teach, and you've been asked, and you should do it. And and there I was, sort of uncovering the truth that I had all of this information to teach. And so that was a very enlightening thing for me in 2018. And then when I sat with Gerald after the 2018 VO Atlanta, and he asked my opinion of a couple of things and what would I do to improve and all those kinds of things. And I told him that, as I think most of us who have presented feel, it's such a great conference and it's a wonderful place to be. And I also said that I thought that the conference could use an acting track, that so much of voiceover is really benefited by having some training in acting. Not just video games and animation, but also narration and commercial work. And those, acting skills can be really useful for those arenas. So I suggested that to him, and then I said, if you want, I would be really happy to head it up for you.
Don't ever suggest to head something up for Gerald.
Right, well, there you go. So he said, great, it's yours. So I was really thrilled about that. And somewhere, maybe a couple of months later, Gerald had sent me an email that he wanted to talk to me about something, and I just assumed he wanted to talk to me about this acting track. And so I said, yeah, I'm on vacation with my family. I'll get back to you. I think we finally connected like 3 or 4 weeks later, and he had sent me an email in the meantime, and I skimmed it. I was somewhere on a lake in Canada, and I skimmed the email, and it was talking about keynote, and I thought, he's going to ask for suggestions for people for keynote speakers. So I started running through people in my head, and then I got to the kind of the end of the email, and I realized that he was asking me if I wanted to, and so I was a little stunned. And I immediately called Townsend Coleman, and I said, help. Should I say yes? What do I do? I've never done anything like that before. So Townsend just laughed. Oh, he laughed. It was very funny. So that's how I came to, and I said yes, but I've never done a keynote before. It's not something I've ever pieced together. I've never spoken in such a capacity. The closest thing that I have done to that, I would say, is just doing that breakout session in 2018, where I just spoke a bit about my experience as a woman in voiceover. So that's how it came about. It's kind of a long and twisted story, but that's how it came to be.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the VO Meter. To follow along, visit us at www.vometer.com. VO Meter is powered by IPDTL.